Welcome everybody. I'm super hyped to get into Banette. Incredible changes here. Really underrated, severely underrated design. Even in terms of me, I never really appreciated how fucking cool Banette is, honestly. So, before I get into any of the changes, I want to quickly say for new viewers or returning viewers who have yet to do so, to check the description down below. There is a link to a Google Sheet, and you can see all of these buffs and changes for yourself for all the other Pokemon. And most importantly, you can check out this move sheet here, and you can see all of the moves, buffs, and changes because there are dozens and dozens of them. Literally every single move in the hack is changed. Not to mention there's like tons of new moves and everything. So I just want to say that before I get into any changes because these move effects actually really do matter a lot for the buffs. Like it's not something you can just dismiss. You know what I mean? So definitely keep that in mind. That being said, I will be going over a lot of them here anyways, but I just wanted to say that Banette, fucking dope. I adore these buffs. It's super cool. So most normal, that's not something that's unique to me. Of other ROM hacks I've done that, I believe probably Dre coined that if I am correct, but it doesn't really matter. Obviously, common type changes like that are going to be repeated throughout hacks, not to mention this hack has tons of unique ones. Not to mention, I don't think being unique is really, I mean, if the type changes a standard, that's not a bad thing. Anyways, Ghost Dark would also fit Banette. You could even argue Ghost Fairy, but there are other Ghost Fairy types, and there are plenty of other Ghost Dark types. Ghost Normal, this is the only Ghost Normal type in the hack, and if you go to the type change guide here, you can see, also there's other guides here if you haven't seen this already, like there's abilities, held item buffs, type chart buffs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, as you can see here, there it says every single type combination is used at least once in this hack, and so I needed a Ghost Normal, and obviously the only one that fits is Banette. So the reason being, if anybody hasn't heard of this type change before, thinks it's stupid, I think it fits pretty well. It's a plush doll, so that's the normal part of it, and then it's possessed, so that's the, you know, kind of like how Aegislash is Steel Ghost because it's a possessed sword. Banette is a possessed doll, so Ghost Normal. A little bit of a reach, but I just think it's fucking cool, and it is a great type combo, as we know from Hisui's Zoroark. It's immune to fighting, normal, and ghost, and Shuppet actually is immune to ground as well with Levitate, which is a nice thing to have. So great buffs here. As I said, Mega Banette gains the dark typing. It is one of what, 3 Ghost Darks? How many are there? Let me think. Spiritomb, Sableye, Mega Banette. There might be one more I added. It's 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it's just those 3. And only one of those can have Sinister. So it's not Mega Banette and it wasn't Sableye, so you can kind of piece which one it's going to be. It's also my favorite one of them. Not to say that I don't like Sableye or Banette. I love all those guys. Yeah, I am just in love with this buff. I'm sorry if I'm dancing around stuff a little bit. I just don't know where to start. So I'll say that Banette had a lot of flaws. It was just a shit Pokemon as the base form, and then the Mega made it usable, but it still was not very good. It did have a great 1/6 base attack, but in this hack, like, that's not enough, you know. Even with, I mean, it would be an okay Pokemon. It would have priority, especially with the Ghost Dark typing. It would have Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch, and just, it wouldn't be bad or anything, but not in the grand scheme of the power levels in this hack are very high, so everything needs buffs or changes for the most part. Because everything's on even playing field. So yeah, great dual step combo as well. Banette, Ghost Normal is almost unresisted, I believe. No, it's literally unresisted, right? There's besides a couple, like for example, Can't Touch Itself. With its stabs, which is kind of funny. Of course, you do have Dark there. But for the most part, it's pretty much perfect coverage other than that. So that's really cool. Like a Dark Normal type, for example, you couldn't touch. But, you know, other than that, you could touch them. But, you know, you have plenty of coverage ones, as you can see here anyways. So it's not like that's a problem. I'm just speaking in terms of stab, spam. So, great 115 offenses. They have the abilities Prankster and Ruthless, and then Mega Banette gains Hubris and Tough Claws. All of these are very fitting. I kind of considered a bunch of different abilities from Mega Banette, but I eventually settled on Hubris and Tough Claws. One of the abilities encourages a special attack, one of the other abilities encourages physical attack. It's pretty simple. Ruthless is an incredible ability on base Banette. I think it fits very well given their appearance and their lore, and you know, they're slashy. Obviously, it would make more sense for Mega Banette because that's the one with the giant claws, but Mega Banette cannot hold a scope lens, and so it would kind of suck ass because the 50% crit moves would not be affected. It wouldn't suck, because you would have Wicked Blow still for stab, and then you would have what else? You would have like First Impression and shit, and Finishing Blow, but Stone Edge, etc. But overall, it's just not as good as it is on base Banette, because base Banette can hold that Scope Lens, and with Scope Lens, moves like Shadow Claw, Slash, Cross Poison, X Scissor and Laceration, and Night Slash all have a 158 base power, and they always crit, meaning you ignore Intimidate and stuff, so that's incredible. And then you have a bunch of other moves that also crit no matter what. So for example, those moves I just listed, you need Total Scope Lens, but these moves, you actually can run any item with them. So First Impression, very powerful move, very good coverage via TM. Finishing Blow works great because you get +3 attack if you knock out the opponent with it, so you can use that in conjunction with stuff like Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak or Quick Attack or whatever. And yes, I do have tons of priority, which I'll get into in a little bit as well, but I just want to cover the Ruthless options first. Lastly, you just have Wicked Blow and Stone Edge, and then, which are just very strong moves. Obviously, neither of them are stab, so it's mostly just coverage. Mega Banette likes having Wicked Blow as well, despite not being boosted by Ruthless. It's boosted by Tough Claws, which is still very powerful with the 165 base attack. It's a fucking menace, dude. And then it is actually the only Ruthless stab explosion Pokemon. So it has 115 base special attack with Explosion, Stab. So Explosion is basically, this is a 562 base power move with a Ruthless and a special and a Stab. So it's really fucking strong, which is just kind of funny for trainers, or if you're not doing a Nuzlocke, you could run it, but it's mostly just for AI to use against you. Like, they could just they get fucked with the Explosion Ruthless. And it's funny because you can't even switch into Ghost types. Sorry, normal types. No, I was right, Ghost types, because it has Ghost Stab, so you can't really use Ghosts unless you have a specific Ghost type, like a Ghost Dark or something, or a Banette. But yeah, that's super awesome. I believe their only weakness is Dark, right? They only have one weakness to Dark, yeah. So that's really nice. Obviously, weaknesses don't matter too much, especially when you're frail like Banette is. The whole line is very frail. You'll die to a lot of strong visual hits, so you definitely need to keep that in mind. They do have a very good speed set at base 100. Nothing too crazy, but they do have priority with Shadow Sneak, Spook, Sucker Punch, and First Impression. So those are all good priority moves to have. Not to mention, you can boost your speed with something like Agility, and of course you have Prankster as your other ability, so keep in mind in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite use ability capsules, so you should be switching between your abilities depending on the situation. Say for one boss fight you need the utility of Prankster, you run that. Next boss fight you need Ruthless, you run that. Ruthless becomes Tough Claws, which is just an all-out Unga Bunga offensive ability. 165 base attack with Tough Claws is incredibly powerful, and then you of course have Stab, Sucker Punch, and Shadow Sneak, and then you have a 100 base speed, and you have all these coverage moves. It's really fucking strong. Technically, Tough Claws is almost as strong as Adaptability with Stab because it stacks, so it becomes a 1.95 times boost. So it's basically adaptability for your stabs, and then you got a 30% boost on your coverage moves, which you have plenty of for Contact. You have Close Combat, Takedown, Play Rough, Poison Jab. Obviously, you have Stab like Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak and Spectral Thief, Shadow Claw. All these moves are buffed or changed, so I would definitely check those out. For example, Shadow Force is a 120 base power move that drops your defense by 2, and then Phantom Force is 105 base power, drops your defense by 1, so those are great. Spectral Thief is 95 base power, just a solid move. It steals boosts, all that fun stuff. Shadow Claw is stronger than Spectral Thief with Ruthless, but without it, obviously Spectral Thief was stronger. So it's up to you which one you want to run or swap between them, whatever it is. I fucking love these buffs. I love the mixed attacking stuff. It has tons of great setup. It has Nasty Plot, Swords Dance, Calm Mind, Cotton Guard, and Conjure. Conjure being a move that gives you +1 special attack and +1 defense. So you can use all of those with Prankster. For example, Prankster, Cotton Guard, Calm Mind is really, really good because you essentially get you can use Cotton Guard on a physical attacker, then you can use Calm Mind after that. Obviously, it does have limited PP. So you can't do that over and over again. For example, Calm Mind, bulk up type moves of 3, Swords Dance, and Nasty Plot is 1, etc. So you can't get up like free +6, but it's still, I mean, +3, +2 is still plenty. The harder part would be getting it off, although you do bypass Taunt with Prankster, which is nice. So that's a good thing. You can actually bypass Taunt, which is a common way of anti-setup. However, there's other things that prevent setup in the hack, like phasing moves and unaware Pokemon and all kinds of other stuff. So still a great option though. Cotton Guard. Another really cool thing is that you can actually abuse Prankster on Banette and then Mega Evolve after you abuse Prankster. For example, you Cotton Guard up, you Calm Mind up, then you Mega Evolve and you gain Hubris. What Hubris does, it gives you a +1 special attack boost anytime something on the field dies. It comes from Soul Heart. So for singles, that's essentially just Special Moxie, unless they died to like passive damage or killed themselves with recoil, then I guess it's technically different than Moxie. But then in doubles, it's a fucking insane ability. So for example, the post-game Rainbow Rocket stuff, it's really, really good. Tough Claws is a stronger immediate power boost, not to mention you have priority to abuse with Tough Claws, so both abilities are very good. One of them has immediate power, the other one is special and, you know, can snowball. You can also use stuff like stored power with Hubris, which is really nice. Again, Calm Mind, Cotton Guard is great. I love all this stuff. You can also just use flat out Conjure. You have reliable recovery with Recover. You can also teach Pain Split via Tutor if you deleted Recover and you can't relearn it, because Relearner is late game, extremely late game, basically post game almost. Which is intentional. And I mean, even if I could move it around, I can't change it so that let me not talk about this in this video. I'm not gonna waste time on it. Other great utility stuff. So early game, you can get Shepherd in the Graveyard. So it's a great Pokemon early game too. It has 75 offenses, which is pretty damn good, and it has 95 speed, and it has Prankster and Levitate. Also, they have trainers only abilities, which Envy is an ability that you actually can get as well. It's not actually exclusive, but in Banette's case, it is exclusive because it's just not that great. It's only for AI really to like prevent setup. So for example, like if there's a Banette lead on the opponent's team, you can't Swords Dance versus it because then it'll take your Swords Dance boost. So you definitely got to keep that in mind. But Shadow Tag is also really strong for AI because you should be playing on set style. So that would lock you in, that can be really dangerous. But overall, the other abilities are also great. So it's more of just a flavor thing because the abilities fit really well, in my opinion. Also, you might notice Mega Banette literally only gains offensive stats. It gains plus 50. All of the Mega stats go to attack, which I just think is really fitting because it just talks about how its zipper opens up and all the power just comes out erupting. And it's literally like, it shouldn't be any bulkier. Faster, you could argue, but I just like having 165 in both offenses. I think that's super fucking sick. Just an all-out offense. It's super frail. Of course, you do have great utility with stuff like Parting Shot, Prankster Parting Shot, Prankster Dual Screens, Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Prankster Recover, Prankster Scary Face, Confide for stat dropping moves, for example. Like Confide drops special attack and Spadef by 1. Scary Face is -2 speed, -1 attack. That kind of stuff is all really great. Yeah, it's just overall really awesome stuff. Screech is -1 to defense. Sorry, -2 to defense, excuse me. So those are all really nice options. I just love these buffs. Of course, you have priorities. Swift, Quick Attack, Spook, and Shadow Sneak are your stat priorities for Shepherd and Banette. And then Mega Banette has Sucker Punch, of course. So, and of course, it still gets the Ghost moves. You have a bunch of other really cool stuff. So, for example, Prankster Topsy-Turvy is really great for totems. You can reverse their stat changes instantly. Prankster Trick Room is cool because Prankster Trick Room is now neutral priority, so you can actually get a Prankster Trick Room off and then Parting Shot into your Trick Room abuser if you want, or you can just use Prankster Trick Room plus Infinite Use Eject button, and then you'll infinitely, you'll just get the Trick Room off and you'll switch into your ally. However, you have to keep in mind that you are very frail, so you would have to use it on a move that you can actually live, because the power levels in the hack mean even like neutral hits will be doing a lot of damage to you. For the most part. So but the good thing is you have so many immunities. You have 3 immunities, so you can get it on the field pretty damn easily. Ghost, Fighting, and Normal. That's 3 common offensive types that you can just completely stonewall, which is awesome. That definitely helps its frailty. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. You have Omni boosting Z moves as well, so stuff like what am I trying to say? Oh, another thing I'll say before, actually I'll talk about the Z moves, then I'll talk about the power between Banette and Mega Banette, because actually I'll just talk about it now. So basically, in this ROM hack, I've designed Megas so that they are not objectively better than their non-Mega counterpart. In this case, not only do you have a type change, which means that in some situations, even if you're stronger as Mega Banette, you're going to want to run Banette because of the typing. Not to mention, Prankster is a completely different ability than from the offensive abilities of Mega Banette, and Ruthless actually can be situationally stronger than Mega Banette, depending on what you're using and the stab combinations and whatever it is. Okay, so my point is there are tons of situations where base Banette is actually much better than Mega. Not to mention base Banette can hold an item. So for example, like Life Orb Ruthless Slash might be stronger than Tough Claws boosted Night Slash or Tough Claws boosted Health Thrust, for example, or Sucker Punch. Obviously, that doesn't make Mega Banette bad or anything, and it's a fucking insane Pokemon, but I just wanted to clarify that it's a lot of people think of Megas as like, okay, once I get the Mega, I'm only using the Mega, but I've actually designed it so that you can use both, and that you should be using both. Like, you don't need to use the Megas at all. Again, you are cycling between your abilities at will. Hubris, Tough Claws, Prankster, Ruthless, that's all great. Levitate is just a situational type thing. You swap Levitate on if there's a ground type in front of you, or a ground type user of move. That was not English. So yeah, that's all really good, really cool. I wanted to also say, they also evolved pretty early, 27. That will be before Totem Lurantis, which is really nice. Again, insane coverage, as you can see here, just literally everything I would ever need. Poison, Steel, Bug, Fighting, Fairy, Electric, Ice, Grass, Fire, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it has everything, okay? So that's really awesome. On both physical and special sides, it has lots of great coverage, Rock, etc. So that's all really fun. Z Omnibus moves, yeah, that's the I'll probably leave it off there. So Z Grudge at level 52 is a signature move for Banette. I actually have to add that to Banette. So that is a very early Omni boosting move for base Banette. So that's another reason to use non-Mega Banette, because you can use the Omni Boost Z move. And what that does is it just gives you +1 to all your stats. Obviously, the effect of it knocking out is not very good. It's mostly just for the omnibus, and because it doesn't fit anything else, and because the move is kind of useless otherwise, so why not just make it a cool signature move? For Banette, I think it fits really well. So yeah, you can get a +1 all your stats, you get +1 attack and special attack and bulk, and you can actually take some hits, and you can use sword power with that, and it's really strong. Keep in mind, sword power and power trip only have 3 PP, but they give you a +1 attack or special attack boost depending on which one you're using. Power trip being stab on Mega Banette, which is really nice as well, and it's boosted by Tough Claws, so that's really nice. Man, I fucking love these guys. They're so cool, so fucking sick. I really do love these buffs. Come on, can I switch back, please? I think I covered everything anyways. Again, both are great Pokemon. Oh, last thing is the Spectrify at level 70. Spectrify is pretty much an upgrade over Grudge. A lot of those types get this as an Omni boosting move. Essentially what it does is it gives you +1 all your stats. It's a very late game, level 70, so you're only going to have that for the League. Maybe Hapu, maybe Gladion, that type of stuff. But it's still really nice. And then, of course, all of the post game. And that turns the opponent, well, that adds the ghost typing to the opponent's typing, so that makes them weak to ghosts in certain situations, which is cool. And then you get the +1 all your stats, so it's just a better version of Grudge. Because it's not a waste of a move slot as much as Grudge is. Grudge is only useful with Omni Boost for the most part. So, not to say that it's bad. I mean, removing PP is cool and all, but if you're doing a Nuzlocke, it's useless. So, which is what I designed this hack around. Not to say that you have to do a Nuzlocke. I'm sure most people won't be, but yeah. I think I covered everything, so thank you very much for listening. Incredible offensive Pokemon, incredible utility Pokemon, really unique, really, really well-deserved, really fucking sick buffs. It can do so many different things. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and you are new here and you have not subscribed yet, and you listened this far into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get me to 900 subs as my next milestone or goal. You can also feel free to join my Discord server if you want. It's also in the description alongside the Google Sheets, where again you can find all of these buffs or changes. Again, I recommend looking at that move sheet guide. Lastly, I'll just say leave a comment down below. That would help out with the algorithm a little bit if you drop a comment. Also drop a like on the video. Any other videos you watch, also just slap a little like on that when you click it. If you are a returning viewer, that'd be helpful. I think I got everything covered, so thank you very much, and I'll be calling back for more hopefully later, excuse me. Also, last disclaimer, I will be taking a hiatus for about a week after December 1st, so keep that in mind. All right, bye everyone.